Hi guys, this is Sourbah Mutha and I'm bringing you a 1.5 day DT strategy. FRAFM audit is over. Group 1 has done its role, has played its role. Of course, it was a roller coaster ride and now it is time for group number 2. Direct tax, I'm going to tell you a 1.5 day strategy as to what you should be doing today, tomorrow, and day after tomorrow so that your DT paper can be taken care of. Let's start right away without discussing too many about what happened, how it happened. Let's focus on the next paper. Let's do this well. Here we go. First are the A chapters. I'm not going to tell you how much time to spend per chapter because that's completely up to you. But what I'm telling you are the chapters which have to be paid attention to so that you can score around 50 marks guaranteed from these chapters. The first one you should study is assessment of trust. Yes, dive into that first chapter because that is a chapter which comes so often in the exam. So dive into the chapter first. Understand specified persons, specified violations, see the 85-15 rule. All those conditions have to be understood well. And 12AB has to be studied really well. That is the first chapter, assessment of trust. The moment you come back, tag that chapter. After that big chapter of assessment of trust, start doing double taxation relief. Yes, you heard me right. It's a small chapter and it will also cover the rates of tax for individuals. And it's a very commonly asked question in the exam. And that mix will help you do your portion and complete these two chapters faster. Then you go to assessment of entities, another big chapter which has companies, business trust, focus on those. Political parties, securitization trust, etc. Not very important, but business trust and companies are really important. Here again, you can expect a good number of marks from here. Next, straight away dive into PGBP. A lot of PGBP you already know. Disallowances, how ICDSs work, all that you have to study. And PGBP is something you have to wrap up well. Make sure you're looking at the sums as well. Next, capital gain, and don't worry about what happened post or before 23rd July. Focus on the things on or after 23rd July. That means the rates of tax, which are 12.5%, exemption up to 1,25,000 on listed shares, 50 AA, market linked debentures, all those things you have to be careful when you're studying capital gain. Next, transfer pricing. Yes, we are straight away diving to international tax because I'm talking about those chapters which you should do first. This is not 1.5 day of completing the portion. This is 1.5 day of scoring the maximum marks. So transfer pricing, there will be a question as well as an MCQ, and that will get you around 7 marks. So transfer pricing, make sure you know the 5 types or 5 methods of computation of arm's length price. Focus on cup method. That's the one which is very important. Documentation is very important. Secondary adjustment is very important. Safe harbor rules, whether you're in safe harbor or not, that kind of transaction. Of course, ABC, associate enterprise, international transaction, and computation of arm's length price, 92A, 92B, 92C. Those are important sections. Next comes non-resident taxation. Right from the poem Place of Effective Management for foreign companies to how non-residents are taxed, the special rates of tax, chapter 12A, chapter 12, and the TDS sections for non-resident, how that works, including presumptive. There are two new presumptive sections which have come up. One is for cruise ships and one is for electronic manufacturing. Please make sure those are done well. This is the first chapter list. This is what you should be targeting first. Now, these are the chapters. When should you do it? You should do it immediately after coming back. Take some time off and start right away. After every chapter, relax, rethink what can be the question in the exam and move ahead. Next, we come to the B level chapters. After these are done, then you will go to the B level chapters. The first one is assessment procedure. Very important. Also, block assessment, etc., has been introduced. So, this is a chapter where you should do really well. Next, TDS, TCS, advanced tax. Focus more on TDS and TCS, not so much on advanced tax. TCS, especially 206C1G global, that section 206C 1H has been removed, so don't worry about that. And 206C 1G is important, and TDS sections, a lot of sections are there. Remember, SRA, section, rate, and amount for every section. That is something that will get you about 6 marks in the exam. Now comes unpredictability. Whether it will be there or not there, we won't know. But appeals and revision is something you should look at. IFOS, especially deemed dividend, that buyback 222F, we should look at. Tax audit and compliances, the best way to do this is through sums. Directly look at the sums of tax audit and compliances, and you'll get an idea of how this was asked in the exam. Next are the C chapters list. This you should do last. What I mean by this you should do last is basically once you're done with everything else, look at this clubbing, whose income should be taxed and whose hand, set off and carry forward of losses, especially for mergers, amalgamations, and those kinds you should look at. Next, basic concepts is something you should just read. Income tax authorities, who are the director, principal director, and commissioner, chief commissioner, principal chief commissioner. Those things, what are their powers, etc. You can look at. Next are exempt income. Some incomes have been exempt, specifically agriculture income and other small incomes. Some of these exemptions have also been covered in a chapter called non-resident tax. Next, unethical tax practices, which are penalties. Look at some of the important penalties, especially some penalties have been covered in transfer pricing, some penalties are covered here. Next, miscellaneous provisions, model tax conventions, salaries, tax planning, evasion. These, if you want to, if you don't get the time, you can just read the sums and move ahead, and you should be able to answer it if in case it comes in the exam. These are the most important chapters. 1.5 day before, the target should be to do those chapters which get you more marks instead of doing all the chapters. Big mistake to avoid is starting from chapter number one and moving ahead. Don't do that, because by the time you go to transfer pricing, all the steam will be lost and you'll be tensed. Of 1 hour before the exam, stop studying and just think of what you already know and attack the paper. Present well. Any section that you write has to be in a box. Conclusion should be underlined, and any computational sum has to be attempted because you get marks for your steps. All the best. Join the tax doubt solving group. In case you have any doubts, reach out to me there. All the best from me and the entire team at Yeshas Academy.